What's up, everybody? Today is day 8 of the 12 Days of Christmas designs, and this set was inspired by a Christmas tree full of red and gold ornaments. So stay tuned to see how we accomplish this look. So per usual, I am starting out with nude nails. I inserted the picture that I found on Pinterest. It's actually from Flickr, the Christmas Specialists Flickr account. So I wanted to make sure I gave credit there, but I'm gonna start with Candy Apple, which is this gorgeous bright red from iGel Beauty. iGel is awesome. Their polishes have good pigmentation and they're really easy to use. They're very smooth in application, and of course at usually 50, 60, some sort of percent off of the $8, you can't beat the price. So I'm just gonna go in, as you know, with 2 coats on all of my fingers with the exception of the ring finger. That one I will later paint black, but we're just gonna, get a good base down, make sure that everything is nice and smooth and looking good before we put nail art on top of it. And I went ahead and put a no wipe top coat on my ring finger because it's eventually going to get chrome, and I just didn't want to forget that step. So I'm taking these nail art stickers. They're sort of like wavy abstract lines. This is the first time I used these stickers, and I thought they were going to be just like every other nail art sticker that I've ever used, and I will just preface this by telling you they are not. So I'm just picking out the section that I want to go on the nail, and then I'm going to wipe the dispersion layer off so that they stick and have really good adhesion. Potentially too good, and you'll see what I mean by that in a second. So I pick it up and I'm just, sketching it out, making sure that I can get the placement right before I stick it down. And then once I stick it down, I sort of start to realize it's not as flexible, they're a little bit stiffer, and I didn't really love the positioning, so I went to move it. And it is so sticky and very stiff, and it was not working for me. So it literally ripped in half right off of my nail. So I decided I'm just gonna work with it. I smoothed it down with silicone tool, and then I came back in with my red gel polish and cleaned up the line so that it looked intentional. I wanted it to look almost like a half French. And sometimes that happens, right? You're in the middle of doing some nail art and some product just does not work how you thought it was going to, or you sketch something out, or you have it in your head and you go to do it on the nails and it doesn't pan out. The best practice, right, in my opinion, is to try and turn it into something great. So I just went ahead and worked with it. I said, you know what, it's not the end of the world, we're gonna make it look all right. So I tried a different technique. I went in and I cut off a small portion. I selected the piece that I wanted to use. I measured it on my finger. I turned it around. I tried it different ways to make sure I was gonna get the look that I wanted. And I ended up sort of like trimming that bottom part because it was a straight line. So I trimmed it with some scissors to try and get it to fit better into my cuticle. And I was on it, right? I was on a roll. I was like, okay, this is gonna work so much better. This is a great option. And I do still think it was a better option. However, this one ripped too. So I would recommend, make sure you take your time when you're positioning. If you have these, make sure you take your time when you're positioning them because they are very delicate and very fragile. However, I was able to get this one to line back up sort of close. I'm not worried about anybody getting so close to my nails that they're going to notice that my nail decal isn't perfectly in line, but I wanted to try and get it as close as possible. So I lined it up, I filed off the excess, and then I went in again with that silicone tool and just pressed it down really, really good. Tried to get all the air bubbles out and make sure it was flush to the nail. Once I was done with that, I just went off and top coated those to seal in that gold tape. And I don't feel any texture on the nail or anything. I did one coat of top coat. It wasn't anything excessive, so that was nice. Here I've got top coat on my thumb, and I'm going in with the Elizabeth Gold Chrome from Magpie Beauty. And this is the first time I've really dipped into this particular chrome. I usually use a less expensive gold chrome and no more. This chrome is incredible. The shine is truly like a mirror finish. So I wanted sort of like an abstract French going sort of on a diagonal, and it was really easy to work with. I used an eyeshadow type applicator from Wildflowers Nails, and I love it. I thought it looked really beautiful. I would honestly love an entire set of just that style of chrome. So time for a little bit of stamping. I'm going to use this plate. It's from Young Nails. It's obviously winter themed. There's a candy cane swirl in there and some partridges in a pear tree, I guess you would. But I'm going to use the stars, and I'm going to do golden stars with that same chrome. So the polish that I'm using is a foil stamping polish from Moyu London. You can get this at a bunch of nail art companies, but it's awesome for foils and chromes. So I'm just going ahead and burnishing that gold chrome into that stamping foil polish. I know Clear Jelly Stamper also actually has one. And then I'm going to give it a good dust off as best I can. And then I'm going to top coat each individual star so that when you wipe it off, the matte top coat that I put on is underneath and looks really beautiful, and the stars are still shiny. Then the ring finger's getting a good coat of gold chrome. Again, you'll see the really beautiful mirror shine. I did have a crack in my chrome, so I did a second coat of top coat and a second coat of chrome, and it looked absolutely beautiful. It filled in perfectly fine. It didn't get lumpy or bumpy. So if you have chips or cracks in your chrome, you can always just re-top coat and re-chrome right on top of it. I'm taking a no wipe crystal gel, and I'm going to give this nail some texture. I wanted it to resemble the gold ornament in the tree that had sort of lines in it. And so I'm taking this no wipe top coat on top of a top coated nail so that once I'm finished curing it, it's ready to go. I don't have to do anything. So the bottom chrome is top coated and finished, and then of course with the no wipe top coat, the no wipe crystal gel, everything's gonna be nice and done when I get through with this part. But I'm just taking my time on a small brush. This is a very thick viscosity gel. It's intended for crystal and application. So I'm just taking my time, letting it sort of flow and making sure that I get it cleanly in the pattern that I want. I eventually switched to a smaller brush for the smaller areas of the nail, and then cure it, and we're done. I really love this. I feel like it just evokes Christmas ornaments, and hopefully you guys like it too. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe so that you see the rest of the days of this challenge. Bye guys.